Happy Good Friday, Guam. I'm Jeff Marcia, so thanks for joining us on Guam News Watch. Delegate Madeline Bordalio, she's Guam's voice in Congress on critical issues like the military buildup, war reparations, and funding for critical infrastructure needs. Yet when it comes to health care reform, an issue that she has touted as good for Guam, her voice falls silent. Tonight, an attempt to get Bordalio to answer pressing questions on national health reform. It's a time when Guam's people are looking to her for answers. But Bordalio's staff says she just doesn't have time to talk. On Tuesday, Senator Frank Uggan Jr. hosts a health care reform roundtable at a time when local officials know very little about how new national health care reform laws will affect the island and whether they will improve local health care funding problems.
Currently, we are unable to match all the federal money that CMS is giving us, all the grant. So basically, those money goes back to the feds. So we cannot utilize it if we don't have the local match. Currently, you know what the economy is of Guam.
But the one person who can bring any clarity to the issues isn't available. Guam Congresswoman Madeline Bordalio was on island today when we called and stopped by her office. But a staffer told us she was too busy to see us.
Please come back.
A written statement from Bordalio this afternoon acknowledges that implementation details are slow to come from Washington and that she's pushing for good outcomes for Guam. But her vague response raises red flags about how much headway local leaders can make during the roundtable. With just 4 days left until the health reform roundtable, Madeline Bordalio isn't talking, not even for a 4-minute interview, to let you know what new information she's going to bring to the table with respect to health reform care on Guam. How will federally mandated health insurance exchanges work on Guam? Will local insurance companies have to lift insurance exclusions on small children? Do health care related tax exemptions for small businesses apply here too? How will these changes affect our economy? Without our Washington delegates' explanations, news of health care reform just isn't adding up. It may be hard to believe after the recent drug murder of a local man in Jonia, but U.S. Attorney Lenny Rapata says illegal drugs aren't the only thing that has teens hooked. Here's Jennifer Rabigo.
U.S. Attorney for Guam and the CNMI, Lenny Rapata, says there's a marked drop in the use of illegal drugs by teenagers, despite the sad case of a band of teens murdering Vincent Pareto for marijuana. Rapata says teenagers have diverted to using legal prescription drugs and selling them for profit, which has become a serious concern for his office.
Unfortunately, a lot of these same teens are moving into their parents' medicine cabinets, and that's a focus now that the Department of Justice is looking at.
Rapata says their office is focused on educating the youth and staying away not just from drugs like ice or marijuana, but to steer clear from the misuse of legal drugs.
We're slowing down the illegal drugs. We've also have to step up the enforcement of the legal drugs that are being misused.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Attorney didn't have much to say about Senator Rory Respicio's recent idea of decriminalizing marijuana. Rapata says until something like that becomes law, his office continues to stand against the use of any illegal substances.
Now, when you're talking about legalizing marijuana for non-medical purposes, that's where the department will take in enforcing the Federal Controlled Substances Act.
Other issues at the heart of his department, Rapata says, is keeping kids off the streets with gang prevention.
For Guam, it's not fighting gangs, but it's gang prevention, preventing the kids from developing organized gangs, and that's how we've started working with the GREAT program.
Reporting for Guam News Watch, I'm Jennifer Rabigo.
Coming up, your chance to compete on America's Next Top Model. Welcome back. If you've ever dreamed of being a supermodel, here's your chance. Our parent station, CW4, invites you to strut your stuff at a casting call for Tyra Banks' America's Next Top Model. It'll be held at Guam Premier Outlet Saturday, April 10th at 3 p.m. Registration starts at noon. The winner gets a round-trip ticket to L.A., a photo shoot, magazine fashion spread, and an appointment with America's Next Top Model casting director. For more information, visit www.cwguam.com. For over 40 years, Guam's faithful make their way to the top of Mount Lamlam to remember the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. David Macaluso with the story.
For thousands of Guam Catholics, Good Friday is a day to remember the suffering that Jesus Christ endured for us. At daybreak, they walk a narrow path up Guam's Mount Lamlam to honor the crucifixion of Jesus. The journey to the summit of Mount Lamlam starts here.
It's 1,332 feet to the top.
On the path up, the hikers recite the 14 stations of the cross, pray and enjoy moments of quiet reflection about the meaning of the Holy Week and Easter. Dozens of men take turns carrying a 500-pound cross and mount it at the peak of Mount Lamlam, a symbol of their faith and willingness to endure suffering for the price Christ paid.
He sacrificed our sin to save our world.
Today, 14 crosses stand high and proud as a sign of generations of this tradition.
When I make it up to the top, it reminds me of what Jesus Christ experienced during his climb on Mount Calvary.
I love Jesus, and he did a lot for us, and he saved us.
And a sure indication that faith in God remains strong in this remote U.S. territory. Reporting for Guam Newswatch, I'm David Macaluso.
Motorists traveling on routes 1, 4, 8, and 16 should get an early start Monday morning as road construction is set to begin on all these major roadways, all at the same time. The routes to be affected are the Route 8, 10, 16 tri-intersection, San Vitores Road, Marine Corps Drive to the Westin Hotel, Route 1 Marine Corps Drive, Route 4 from McDonald's to Route 10, Route 16 Barricada Post Office intersection. Road construction will begin just as schools are set to resume after the Easter break, meaning major delays should be expected. That's 5 minutes. I'm Jeff Marchessault for Guam Newswatch. Our 30-minute cast launches April 26th. Have a great Easter weekend.